Loves. We're back, and I'm here with two very special Southsiders. I'm going to go left to right because that's how you read a book.
Okay.
They tell me.
I am Claire Bowen. I am married to Justin Bowen, Southside's new defensive coordinator.
I'm Kayla Holcomb, and my husband is the Southside head coach, Miles Holcomb.
Like, I really wanted you to be like, I'm Kayla Bowen, and we're sisters. Like, I was like, for some reason, even after spending all this time together, I was like, sisters, totally cool. They're not sisters. So I'm going to go ahead and fill this in. We took a hiatus, COVID. I mean, I feel like that's like the blanket statement, like, oh, you missed my baby's christening, and I'm like, COVID. But then, basketball season came because we were supposed to be here for basketball season. I'm so sorry, DeLozier, our aligned insurance sponsor. So for all of your insurance needs, DeLozier's your guy, and he's the best looking guy in a suit, period, bar none. Fight me. But we took the basketball season off because everyone was kind of weird. Like, they were like, oh my gosh, every player can have 2 people in the gym, so I don't want to be like patient zero. And I'm like, well, I don't really want to be patient zero either, personally. Like, I want to be famous, but not for that. And then baseball season came and COVID. Use your imagination. And so, and then I was supposed to go to Opelika to see Allison,
Okay.
which is where you have come from, right?
No, I was at Oxford.
You were at Oxford, but you were with her.
Allison.
Yes. So I was supposed to go see Allison Etheridge and Tiffany Wagman, and then I was super sick last weekend. Like, I was well enough to get fitted for a wedding dress. But it was family, so it's okay. Like, it's okay if you give your family COVID,
But not someone else.
but not someone else, because they didn't ask for it. My family didn't ask for it either. I'm sorry, Aunt Joan. And I'm also really sorry for the cut of that dress. Like, thank you for pinning that up before my grandmother laid eyeballs on it in real life. I don't think I would have gotten into heaven in that. So, I'm going to go ahead and go. We're going to, again, left to right. Because if you guys don't know, that's how you read a book. Like, you read it left to right, right?
You do.
Yes, you do. Okay. Correct me, Miss Allison, if I'm wrong. So, how did you meet your husband?
Justin. I met him at JSU. He was a senior when I was a freshman. We had nothing to do with each other.
I thought you were going to say nothing in common. I was like, that's the best relationships ever. I love you.
We had nothing to do with each other. We worked with each other for a year and had absolutely...
In what?
In JSU sports information. So we worked like with the SIDs.
See, I can fight her in the parking lot. She'll break your place down for you.
I don't know about that. But yeah, so we worked together for a year. Really had nothing to do with each other. He moved to Hazel Green, Alabama, and coached there for 3 years, I believe. And then after about 3 years, it was kind of a modern day romance, and he slid into my Instagram DMs, and we have
The DMs
we've
are
been
legit.
we've been moving forward ever since. So that's kind of how I got started.
Like, I hate to be that person, but I went to high school with, I call him Pacey. To know Ben is to know that he's Pacey Witter from Dawson's Creek. I mean, he just is. I mean, I'll show you guys pictures without the beard and the weight. I love you. But we went to high school together. I had the biggest crush on him.
Mm-hmm.
I also had an afro, and I wore like white eyeshadow, like the Bonbons powder. Do you guys remember that?
No.
Oh my god, am I that old? Okay, so it was like this loose powder, and I would like clump it onto my eyelids every day, and I'd be like, oh, this is fantastic. And then the worst thing that ever happened to me was reading In Style magazine, and it was like, oh, if you have hazel or green eyes, purple will set it off. So then I got purple dusted eyeshadow. I couldn't figure out why Ben didn't like me. Like, I was like, I love you. I'm far. And yeah, so like, he got married, I got married, whole shebang. And then I moved back to Alabama, and he actually slid into my DMs from an Alabama game.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Like, he went to school at Tuscaloosa. He's still there forever until I die. Let's get that master's degree. And so like we have kind of been together, like, because he's like, hey, let's go to Alabama together. Like, don't ever come to Tuscaloosa again and not tell me that you're here. And I was like, I didn't know you owned anything in Alabama. I'm intrigued. And so, you know, here we are. We're getting married in like 15 minutes. So, woo! So that's it. So tell me, how'd you meet yours?
Okay,
And
so
give us his name. Give us his name.
Okay, so Miles and I both went to Shorter. We were both student athletes, and
What'd you play?
I played volleyball. And
What position?
libero.
So she was only on the back row.
Yes.
So y'all, that's all. I have no interest in that. I mean, like not. I have interest.
Right.
But I don't want to do that.
It's okay. Sorry, I loved it. But so he played football. We had mutual friends, and we would go to our friend's house. We'd hang out, and then he would come to our dorm and with his friends, and we would watch the show. But I think he wasn't really interested in the show at that point, which I didn't really realize because I actually thought he liked my friend.
Oh. Oh.
So, yeah.
Oh no.
So yeah.
How was that wedding toast? Like, I really thought you were here for Brittany, but you're here for me. So yeah.
So we just kind of hit it off, and
But was he there for your friend and then like?
apparently not.
Okay. I was gonna say, cause like Pace would tell me, he'd be like, "Well, I was really looking at your friend," and then I realized like, hey, you have arms too. So the famous question of this show, and I have to like train myself on not saying podcast because Josh has me so trained on being like, on the podcast. It's not a podcast. You can see my face, and I apologize in advance. Also, sorry, Mom. It's my catchphrase. What was the first date?
The first date.
The first date.
Yeah, so we met, I actually drove to his house, where we live now, actually, so that's kind of crazy, but...
Wait, you're living in your first date house?
Yes, so we live in the house that he grew up in, yeah. So,
okay, I love it.
he actually came to Calhoun County kind of for the weekend because at the time he was interviewing for his position at Oxford, which is where we just came from. And so I was still at JSU at the time. So it just kind of worked out that we were both in the same area. So I drove to his house, and I had kind of convinced him to go see the latest like Avengers movie with me. And if you're familiar with that at all, like you have to watch all of them to know. And he like totally played along and pretended like he had seen every single one of them. And about 5 minutes into the movie, I realized he had not seen anything and had no idea what was going on. And so I really enjoyed the movie. I don't think that he did, but then we went to Lost Necks in Oxford. I feel like that's everybody's first date spot if you're from Calhoun County.
Possibly.
But we went to Lost
It doesn't
Necks in
always work out
Oxford,
there.
and that's what happened. One of my favorite things is he took a Snapchat story, again, modern day romance, but he took a Snapchat story of me and like sent it to his friend. Well, not story, but he sent it to his friends and was like, I think I'm going to marry this girl.
And you were like, surprise.
And I had no idea, and he like showed it to me after we got engaged. So that was pretty special. But
Super sweet.
super sweet, yeah.
Were you Snapchatted?
That wasn't a thing. Like, I don't think that was a thing.
That wasn't a real thing for
We
us.
just got
then?
Facebook at that.
Like, we were still making vines.
Do you remember those?
Look, if I could get into my Vine account, there are 2 accounts I need into. I need into MySpace.
MySpace.
There's some pictures up.
Yes.
I want down. And if you can find them, I'll pay you money for them. Like, take them down. And I want into a Vine because there's 2 Vines I can think of from friends that I'm like, I would pay money to watch that again. So if you can figure that out. All right. So he Vined you.
First date?
First date.
Okay, so he'll probably be mad at me for telling
You're like,
this,
it was 4 score and 3 months
but-
ago.
No, so one of my roommates, her husband now, they were going on a date, and I didn't know this. Okay. And so she was like, hey, I want you to come out to eat with us. And I was like, I don't really want to, but okay. And so I go, and Miles is there. So it was like I got conned into a date, like a double date. Yeah. So it was okay.
It was worth it. Worth it.
And then we later went on a real date because that was just like
Which was
I got conned into a date.
okay. So what was your real date that didn't have any conning or lying or
And we went to Mexican.
Mexican food?
I'm
Yeah,
telling
guys.
ya.
What
Yeah.
is it? What is it? I mean, to be fair, like we went to an Alabama game and then Taco Casa. So I mean,
Hey.
Mexican, faux Mexican. Who can really complain? Nobody here. None of us. I'm kidding. It's fun. It's fun because it's not true. So then our next question that people love to hear is, how did he propose?
Okay, so he proposed. So to give a little background, Justin not only was a football coach, he also coached baseball at Hazelgreen and Oxford. So at the time, we were almost living at Chocolaca Park, like we were there all the time. My family had came into town that weekend. He would also argue that I had been like begging him to ask me to marry him for a long time, which is probably true. But my family had came into town. We were going to go meet them for dinner in Oxford, which was unusual. But we drove to Oxford, and he was like, "We're going to make a pit stop." And so we went to Chocolaca Park, and
You're like, oh my gosh, why are we home?
yeah, I was like, "This is weird. Why are we coming here?" I knew he was nervous about something because he almost ran over somebody in the crosswalk. So I was like, he's normally calm, cool, and collected, but like something's up.
What's not more romantic than manslaughter?
Yeah, I was literally like, Justin, oh my gosh, like you almost ran over somebody. But anyway, so we parked after we got past that fiasco, and we walked down to where like the lake area is at Chocolaca Park, and he proposed to me there and had a photographer there. It was amazing. My family was waiting. They were like watching from far away, my family and friends, and we went there and ate, and it was beautiful. It was perfect.
Love.
He did a good job.
It was unbound, wasn't it?
It was actually it was on Christmas Eve.
Oh,
Christmas
okay.
Day.
Christmas Day.
It was the only time I remember, because I lived in Georgia at this time, so I had to drive to Alabama on that Christmas Day, that it snowed on Christmas.
Oh,
So
look at God.
when was that? Like
Okay.
maybe 11 years ago. I could tell that he was kind of mad because I wasn't sure if I was going to get to make it because it was snowing and he lived on Sand Mountain, so I had to like drive up the mountain.
Oh, because there's nothing better though than like you giving it your all and like your guy being like, I just don't even worry about it. And you're like, okay, fine, I won't. And then you could have ruined the whole day.
Right, I could have, and so
You could have.
but I made sure I got there.
Look
So
at you.
I made the trip. I got there, and he proposed that night at his parents' house. And his
So sweet. Pacey proposed on our family vacation with his parents.
oh.
And I always had like this vision of like these wonderful pictures, and he proposed to me in a bathing suit. And it wasn't even the cutest one I had in my bag.
He could have told you.
He could have been like, hey, look, you know that there's a ring involved. Like, could you wear like a bathing suit that's like not embarrassing? No, I couldn't. Because I still have this body. Can't change that for an engagement. But yeah, so that's fun. And obviously you said yes.
I did, obviously.
And now you have a child.
We do. We have one child.
Congratulations. I mean, you know, it's a boy, right?
Yeah, but
And he's 9.
he'll be 9 this year. We've been married. Well, this year 10 years. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
He said, let's get married.
Well, we had been dating for 5 years already.
Oh, yeah. Well, then
So I mean, it was time.
At that point, you're like, well, I think we're 26 now.
Yeah, and we were living long distance, and it was.
Long distance is tough.
So.
And you have no children.
No children, just dogs.
Just names.
Posey and Jessie.
I'm assuming they're both girls.
They are.
It's 2021. I needed to make sure.
Yes. Posey is a Maltipoo and Jessie is a Beagle.
Now, fun fact. if you guys know me, you know my stupid little brother. She knows my brother.
I do.
We literally, she said,
JSU.
she's like, now, how are you related? She's this maybe dumb question. How are you related to Bailey Blanchard? And I was like, it's my brother. And she's like, oh my gosh, I know him and Emery. And Emery, I think we can all agree, now that you've seen my brother and you've seen pictures of Emery, we can all agree that my little brother has outpaid his coverage. Yes, can we do that here today? That'd be great. Let's go ahead and knock that out. No, we're not going to. Suck on that, Bailey. See you Friday night, son. Now, okay, so I say we because I'm invested in everybody's lives. Oxford.
Yes.
How is that, and how is Oxford? And this may be I may put you on the spot, and I apologize.
Yeah.
How is the Oxford? I don't want to say culture, because culture is such it's such a strong word. And some people take it so oh my gosh, I'm about Piedmont culture, and I'm offended. And people are like, oh, well, you just don't understand the West Lithuania culture, and I'm like, oh, you don't understand Piedmont culture. So I don't want to say culture. So how is what are the differences between Oxford and Southside just right now? I mean, bigger school, obviously.
Yeah, that's what
We live close to an Applebee's.
I would say just the size is probably the biggest difference that I've noticed. I tell Justin all the time, and Oxford will always hold a special place in our heart because we were at Oxford when we were boyfriend and girlfriend. They were with us when we got engaged. They were with us when we got married. They're kind of our family, and it's been great to have that core family that we had, especially the relationships that I had with the coaches' wives there. They definitely have not only given me advice and stuff on how to handle it, and I know I'm still learning. I'm very new into all this, but it was just, I couldn't have asked for a better core group of friends to kind of get me and Justin to where we are today. And it's been really awesome in that transition to Southside in kind of learning this new community, and it's a very tight-knit community, and I'm excited to kind of jump in with 2 feet and see really notice the differences. I haven't gotten to go to a lot of events so far, so I don't know that I have necessarily learned, but I do know that I have noticed how tight-knit the community is and how involved the community is, which is amazing in itself. So yeah, I'm excited.
I have to hand major creds, and there's really no good way to say this, and if it comes across as bad, I'm really hoping Josh will edit it out, but he will probably be like, I watched the first 5 minutes, they were fine. Southside's band, they were slapping.
Yes.
What is it? It's something I've never really noticed. When I transferred to Piedmont my junior year, and I was like, wow, this band is pretty fire. And then I stood on the sidelines at Southside last year for a game, and I was like, holy smokes, this band is fire. And now I know 2 of their color guard ballerinas. Do you know what they are yet? Do we know what they are?
Crimsonettes.
The Crimsonettes, yes. I know 2 of them. They're the greatest.
Awesome.
So
being in the same region as them, we enjoyed their halftime show last year, so I'm excited to see it from the other side of the sport.
Yeah, when they're you're actually yes, those are our girls.
Yeah.
So go Ella, and as my kid says, Annabeth. You guys get out there and do big things this year. So how are you loving it? Because you're from out of state, right?
Yes, I'm from Georgia, so
we're sorry.
The funny thing is we had our stint in Georgia, and I really wanted to come back. I know I love being close to my family, but it was nice to come back to Alabama. So it's kind of been my home. Now it's my first home, but it was second home for forever. But
what is it that the band Alabama sang? my home's in Alabama.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't make that.
But no, it's been great so far. I'm actually going to be teaching at the elementary school, so
What grade?
second grade.
Ooh.
Yeah.
How fun. How fun.
It's not for everyone.
No, my kid's a first grader, and I'm like, ooh.
Yes. Well, my kid will be in
August
second
11th.
grade with me.
Oh,
And he was like, "Oh, you'll be my teacher." And I was like, "No, I will not. I like you, but no."
that is one thing I will say. My poor child, we go to Flow in Asheville. If you don't have a home church and you're local, Asheville, Flow, fantastic. But they do what they call Kid Blitz. And like we joke and everyone calls it like VBS on crack.
Right.
And I had never witnessed it before until I did. And then I was like, this is VBS on crack. And people were like, yeah, duh, like, well, let's go. And my poor kid, she was in my zone, and like they pick kids for games and like for prizes, and she'd be like, Mom, and I'd be like, shut your mouth. Because it was one of those like, there's so many other kids, and like I can't show favorites, like I can't do that. So there is a special like, it's an extra layer of, it's like Rachel's like trite on Friends when she's like layered. She's like, well, yeah, I made this ladyfingers and jam and cream cheese, and then there's the beef and onions. Like that is what it's like being a child at something that your parent is like in charge of, like other people's children are, because if you don't want to be the parent, it's like this. I made this. She deserves that coloring book because 9 months. So I get that. Like I get you being like, oh no, you won't be in my
Sorry,
class.
buddy.
If I had to do over again, I'd be like, oh, you're on the other side.
On the
Like,
other
even though like my side won the offering, like you gotta go sit with them.
Sorry.
I can't pick you legally.
Right.
My lawyer said I can't. So
But yeah, so the elementary school, everyone so far that I've met has just accepted us and just like welcomed us. So that's been really awesome. Like we moved in and went on vacation the next week, and somebody came and got all our packages for us. So, like it was just like some
it's little things.
Yeah, like little things like that. And I was like, oh, he took all our packages. That was awesome.
And didn't steal anything. Like I lived in Washington for 3 years. Like,
I was like,
you just never know.
So everybody's been so welcoming and just so nice. So it's been awesome.
So would you say that you're more at home here than anywhere?
Probably.
Still a pieces.
Probably. We love living in Georgia, but we're glad to be back for sure.
For sure. And so, teacher, and you work at a credit union.
Yes, I'm the marketing manager at Fort McClellan Credit Union. That's a subtle plug right there.
So, if you need to open a banking account, a savings account, a Christmas account, a Save-a-saurus account. You guys do that?
No, that's another credit union.
Oh, that's Alabama Teachers Credit Union. Hey, Brian. That's for you, friend. So like for all your banking needs, she can count. Don't come to me. It's not my jam. And for all your insurance needs, Michael DeLozier, he's at the Aligned Insurance next to the Publix here in Rainbow City. And Publix has everything. Except for this Publix doesn't have an Olive Bar. And the one in Rome, Georgia does.
One in Oxford does too.
Yeah, so that's very important to me because I would live off of olives and pizza. So, I'm trying to think. Like, I don't want to cut you guys short, and I don't want to give. Like, I know people are so excited because Southside. I mean, if you're a Panther, you know, like they've had like a coaching turnover, and we're very excited. Not that we were upset in the first place, and I use we because I'm very involved in everybody's life. Life is a nice way of saying business. Yeah. Do you like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But I mean, I am very excited to see what Southside will do. One, because this does not directly affect Piedmont, so go dogs. And second, because I have my own Southside ties, and I want to see that flourish because, like, my sister's boyfriend graduated from Southside Nugget, and then his sister is a Crimsonet. You know, my sister's daughter is Crimsonet, and his oldest daughter was a Crimsonet. want to see, like, I'm like, I want to see Southside do big things. So this is it. Like, we're speaking it. We're declaring it out.
Yes.
So if I interview anyone else that has to cross Southside, I would apologize in advance. I should. I'm sorry. So, is there anything different about Southside to you other than like someone picked up your packages and didn't steal them? And I'm not saying that happened in Georgia. I'm saying I literally live in Washington State in a triplex, and like I would panic if Amazon was like, your package is on the door, and I'd be like, but is it? Is it? Because my neighbor's home today. So you just never know.
Right. Sure.
So how is it? How is it here, like culture-wise?
Well, I think it's something they're building every day, and so I think it's something that might, at first have been like a little bit different, but I think everybody's kind of coming along, and I think it's good.
Have you met players?
Yes, I have. They actually moved us in, all of them. It was like, they did do that. Yeah, we came in our neighborhood, and it's like one road, and there was like 500 cars, and so it was.
You're like,
we're here.
Everyone can carry one box.
Yeah. So I mean, they all came. They unloaded the truck. I think they like timed it. It was like 40-something minutes, and they unloaded the truck. It was awesome. And then I mean, it was great. So okay.
The other way, fast fact, to unload your moving truck quickly is to not unlatch. The more you know.
Next time.
Our moving truck will be the back of my Dodge Journey. So. So yeah, that's fun. Now, houses. I know I'm an HGTV expert. If you don't know that, I am. You have a wall.
We have a wall. We do have a wall.
And we were talking, and like she wants to take the wall down, and I'm like, that's great, but is it load bearing? And I said this with like such authority.
You did.
And I was like, but is it load bearing? Because two chicks and a hammer, it's a load bearing wall. So we were talking about your house.
Yes.
Tell us about your house. Tell us how much you love it.
I love my house. I do.
There's just a wall.
There's just this wall that you can't see through, and we think it needs to be knocked down.
And it's between the kitchen and the living room. Like, it's not like, she's like, we have one wall on our whole house and we don't want it out. Like, it's bathroom, bedroom, kitchen, everything. Like, it's living room, kitchen, they want it gone. So, naturally, load bearing.
We have options, though, probably.
I feel like we do. Like, let me get in there and look at it.
I think you could help.
I'll come on.
Bring your hard hat.
It could. I mean, like, yeah.
Because I know that.
Saving the ceiling panels, the hard hat. Like,
I also know my husband's super busy and he's not going to help, so I love him, but I mean, he knows X's and O's, and that's about it. Well, he does teach math, so there's that.
Ooh.
He's really intelligent, but he's not handy.
There's
Claire's husband is handy.
He's handy.
I feel like there's something to be said though, because like I'm the one left in charge of mine and Pacey's bank account. So use your imagination on that. We might be in the negative, I don't know. Who knows? If the card will run, it's still good. So there is something to be said though for like a math whiz. Because now here's the thing I have to give Pace is that he can solve the world's problems. But we're not putting like shells together or anything. Like there's no bonding. Like and then we spackled all of these holes and sanded it out and painted it this beautiful eggshell color.
My husband wouldn't do that.
No,
he has no interest in that.
No, that's like Pacey's like my goal is to one day make enough money where I can pay someone to come in and do that.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
Why is that my problem?
Right.
And I'm like, well, and I have enough of my dad in me, and if you know me, you know who my dad is. Where I'm like, well, why would we spend that money? Like, if I could do it myself, like, if I could learn how to do it and save the money.
Exactly.
Think of all the fun things we could do. We could go to Applebee's. We could go to Applebee's in Oxford. Why would we not? That spackling saves you boatload. So your husband is handy.
He's pretty handy, yeah.
What's your favorite thing he's put together?
We actually just had a big project. We had like accordion doors, like in our hallway, and so he has taken those off. And my grandparents, who are also very handy, built us some like wooden barn doors. And Justin like put them all up, and they look great. So that's my favorite project that he's done. But it changes.
What did you do while he was Bob the Builder?
I made an Instagram story about it.
That's
So
perfect.
if you want to go,
Everybody has a purpose.
exactly.
Everybody has a place.
Yes, that's exactly what I did. And if you want to go watch it, yeah,
It's on our Instagram. What's your Instagram name? Drop it for the people. I'm playing home. I don't know who's going to watch this. I don't know who's going to watch this. I mean, you can have like some really weird people watching this. Don't give us your real name. These are fake names, actually. So use that how you will. I'm kidding. So, and then this is this is not yours. It's his childhood home.
Yes, yeah.
How did his parents take him like demoing things down? Because I say that because Pacey's family home, like it's his dream to take it over. Him and his brother are like jockeying for position on it, and I'm like, well, if we took it, because I love to cook, and I love my mother-in-law. She does not enjoy being in the kitchen.
Right.
There are a million other things that she does though. So I'm like, I get it.
Yeah.
But like I have like one party trick, and I'm like, I can cook you a 7-course meal.
Oh wow.
Now.
Yeah.
Like it's the one thing I can do. Like I joke and I'm like, oh, I don't know how to cook. I was forced to learn in a previous life, and so now it's like, well, I can cook. And so I always like, I'm like, well, if you got this house, like how can I move this and move that? And he's like, I don't know though. He's like, one time I was like running around the corner and I fell, and I'm like, why would you want to remember that? Why is that what you want to take from this? So, I mean, you know, how have they taken the remodel?
So his dad actually moved about the time that Justin was moving back to Oxford, and so the house was empty. And they were generous enough to, it's on family land, so they were just kind of generous enough to just kind of let it be our own, and it's been such a blessing. And we love the community that we live in. We live right next door to Justin's aunt and his grandmother. So we kind of help out with them too. And yeah, it's nice. It's nice to kind of have our little piece of the world, I guess. But yeah, his dad has been very nice just to kind of let us make it our own.
Like
So
it's yours.
yes.
I mean, and that's the thing is like Pacey's parents are like, they're so like, hey, if we gave it to you, it's yours. Like, do what you will.
Right.
And I'm like, I can literally feel like future Tara being like, oh, please don't touch that paint color because that was a painstakingly chosen color. Like, you will never find another shade of ecru like that. Like, don't touch it. So, do it to them. And you're tearing down walls.
Yeah.
We'll do it tomorrow.
Okay.
I'll call in sick.
Okay.
Let's tear it down. And I really like, you're like, and we're right next to it, and I was like, and I don't know why it's on the brain. Like, I'm like, we shall go. We shall go there. I don't know why. It's just on the head, on the brain. I had another question, like it popped in my head while you were talking, and I was trying real hard not to be the person that's like, okay, I hear what you're saying, but my next question is completely irrelevant. I get sucked into that vortex sometimes. What can you do? Just get sucked into it, I guess. Let's see here. It was a great question.
Happens to me all the time.
I'll tweet it at y'all.
Yeah.
I say that. Like, I really keep up with my Twitter. And I know I had something else for you too, and I'm just, Josh, I'm going to need you to edit out my brain fart. If you're listening, you're probably not. Josh really will be like, I watched the first 5 minutes and the last 5 minutes, and everything seemed good, and I'm like, well, that's great, except for the fact that I accidentally, like, inadvertently spelled a voodoo ritual, and now all the zombies in Rainbow City are alive, so I apologize, but, I mean, what can you do? So, you have a 9-year-old.
I do have an
Yes, I knew that. But and he's going in the second grade.
Yes.
So what about him? Like, is he loving the football life? Because he's been a football kid his whole life.
Okay, yeah, so, and I told you this earlier, his first football game was when he was 5 days old. And so he doesn't really know anything else.
Right.
But he played flag football once and he liked it, but it's just not, it's not his thing. But he loved flag football, so maybe at some point.
You know, I get that because our little girl, like, I played volleyball.
Right.
Like, she liked volleyball. Like, didn't walk away from it for anything stupid. And coached and, like, lived out my best life. I'm the cautionary tale. Like, I'm what people are like, do you want to be like Tara when you grow up? And kids are like, no, I'm going to go to school. And I'm like, you should. Because you could be this. And then I smile real weird and people get creeped out and it works. Kids everywhere are going to school. They're all going to school. They're all doing they're balancing their own checkbooks. They're using this credit union. They're doing the right things. Like our kid has like zero interest in sports.
Right.
Like she's like, I don't want to, I'll get sweaty. And I'm like,
what is that?
what?
Yeah.
Who are you?
Right. So he kind of, he says he'll play again, so we'll just, go with that. But he likes to, he's unique. He's unique. We'll just say that. I love him, but.
What's his favorite?
He thinks he can like make video games and things.
He's very creative.
That's
yeah.
it. He's super, and he wants to be an author. He makes books.
Don't ever stop
No,
him.
he makes
I
a
love a book. I love a good book.
He makes books like almost every day still. He's done it since he was in kindergarten. So we have hundreds of books like in boxes. Like that.
I love that.
He does, yeah.
So what's his genre gonna be? Do you think?
Comic books.
Comic books. Okay. I was waiting
Graphic
to
novels.
Yeah.
I love that though. Coming from someone who like devours a true crime fiction, I guess crime fiction.
Yeah.
Like I was waiting. He'd be like, well, he loves straight murder stories. I'm like, that.
9.
9. He's very interested in how the body breaks down. Like, oh.
But yeah, so he does that. He makes books. He plays video games and he makes things.
Don't make him play sports. Like, I know that's a weird thing for average Joe sports talk.
And he also likes to talk. That's like his other hobby.
Oh, let him be. Leave him alone.
That's really crazy things, and so.
And you said he was an only child.
Oh, he's an only child. Yeah.
And so he talks to grown-ups.
Oh yeah, so he like. So one time I was talking about one of his friends and I was like, oh, you loved her. And he was like, only in a platonic way. And I was like, what? Hello? I was like, wait a minute, do you know what that means? And he was like, yeah, like, we're friends.
Oh my God. Okay, that's
okay.
my spirit animal. We just became
You
best
would love
friends.
him. Yeah.
Send him my way. I get that because, the age gap between my stupid little brother is so big, like it was always me and grown-ups. And so like now I get, like I was always the weird kid where I'd be like, oh, well, look at that chasmophilic animal over there. And they'd be like, I don't even know what that means. I'd be like, it's in small spaces, obvious. And they'd be like,
yeah. I love it. When he was like 3, he was telling me like what a dodecahedron was. And I was like, okay. And so yeah, he's just out there and it's great.
Krista, tell them.
It's fun,
Tell me, what is it?
What? It's some kind. It's like a 3D shape of some sort. Maybe I don't know some other. It's something.
Oh my gosh.
It's a shape.
Okay, so next week on Friday Night Lives, we're gonna sit down with Kayla's son because I love him. Oh my gosh.
It's Shannon with a K. That's what he'll tell you.
Yeah.
Okay, so can we interview Shannon with a K?
Yes, he would love that. He would talk you to death.
Done. So stay tuned for that. Like I don't know if that's gonna be a Friday Night Live
Coach's
segment.
Kids segment.
That would be fantastic. We actually did that one time. I sat down with Trip Curry of Cherokee County and other schools, but like Cherokee County's where we go. And with my stupid little brother, and we basically were like, "Hey, what's it like to be Coach's kid?"
Yeah.
And I don't think that a lot of people realize, like, when you're sitting in the stands, it's a high school game. It's not like going to an Alabama game where like you might be in a section, like you could be sitting in the away section and Like, I don't think people realize that. And so they're like, oh, well, that was a move. Like, back in my day, I'd throw it and catch it myself. Like, well, then why don't we use all of that positive energy and make you a time machine so you can go back and win the state championship for us? Because these are people's husbands and sons and dads.
Yes.
And, I mean, God, it's the South. So cousins and uncles. I mean, like, come on. You gotta think about that. Think about that this year, because be the bigger person, be the better person, and you can disagree with the coach. And we all agree.
Yes.
Yes.
But keep it to yourself.
They're human.
Yes. And I think, who was it that said it the best? If you don't have something nice, say nothing at all. Was it Thumper on Bambi? I'm pretty sure it was. I'm almost positive that it was. And if you want to go steal magnolias, if you don't have anything nice, do sit next to me. Don't sit next to me in the stands. Like, sit next to me like the Waffle House. Applebee's. I'll be there. It's like, for some reason, that's like my new obsession. Like, we're Chili's people, and I'm like, Applebee's. Yeah. Subliminal. Sponsor us. Come on. So no children.
No children.
Just the dogs.
Just dogs.
Yep. And I'm not going to be that person that
No prospects of
of
children.
That's like my number one pet peeve is when people are like, when are you going to have more? And I'm like, I don't know. When are you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, quit it. If I wanted more, I had more.
Maybe more dogs on the horizon.
I love that.
Yeah.
So we're dog people.
I'm a dog person.
Okay.
I'm trying to turn Justin into a dog person. I think he is.
Is he a cat person?
No, he's just
anti-animal.
Well, I mean, he's just he likes our dogs. He just doesn't want like 5 like I would like to have like 5.
Yeah.
It's. I mean, I feel like we're on the same playing field of.
Yeah.
I want to save everything.
Right.
So I'm like, well, this poor cat needed a home. This dog
Right.
needed a home. This parakeet broke its wing. He's like, where did you find a parakeet on the street? And I'm like, don't ask questions. Snitches get stitches. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Do you guys have any pets?
We do. We have a dog. So when we lived in Haleyville, Alabama, this dog came up, and Cannon and Miles were getting the groceries in the house, and you could tell like somebody had abused her or something. And so she stayed like on our front porch for forever. And so I was like, all right, Cannon, what do you want to name her? Like, she wasn't going away. She was ours. And so he was like, groceries. And so he said she looked like the color of a grocery bag. She's a mutt, but she's like a Labrador, mix.
Yeah.
Please.
So she's groceries. So we have a dog named Groceries. Yeah.
Please bring your child next time. I'm so intrigued. Just off the rip.
I tell that story to my class every year. They're like, what? Fancy groceries? Yeah.
I mean, we have a black cat that we saved in Washington State, and I brought her home thinking of like 0. Because like, I love Halloween.
Yeah.
Binks.
Yeah.
Ted Bundy. And my kid looks at her and goes, this is the only saving grace of it. AS.
Oh.
AS in Wonderland. And I was like, AS it is. And that's, I mean, like, we have a black cat that is named after the blonde-haired, blue-dressed, white apron-wielding heroine of the story. And she is, like, black as the ace of spades. That's what you get for letting a 2-year-old name your cat.
Exactly.
She's named AS. I mean, you can't beat that, though. No. Do your dogs have middle names?
No, actually.
Really?
No,
You're
no.
Southern about middle names?
I know, my dogs. I don't have them.
Groceries does not have a middle.
Yeah.
I don't know what I could.
Okay, well, I'm going to give you guys the gift of middle names.
Okay.
One day.
Yeah.
We're going to be best friends. It's not weird. It's normal. So, well, guys, I'm going to let you go because this is normal. I'm totally kidding. You guys know me. But is there any, like, I know you're freshly married.
pretty Christian.
And with that being said, like you were married in 2020, right?
Yes.
Bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see how that plays out for him. How'd you swing that with the COVID?
We literally, I remember we were on our honeymoon in the Bahamas in January, and that was the first time I ever heard the word
The anxiety that just gave
COVID.
me. I'm like, we were in the Bahamas, and I'm like, paradise forever.
Yeah.
Paradise forever.
I remember looking at an article and I was like, what is this COVID? Like,
What's that even mean?
yeah, that was the first time I ever heard it. And
So you're a
months
January
later,
bride?
January.
Interesting.
You only, when your husband is a football and a baseball coach, you can only get married in July or January.
We got married in September. That was like a big, bad.
How did you do that?
It
Yeah.
was a mess. Let's just say that.
It be that
It
way,
was a mess.
considering the fact that like I'm eloping now because my original wedding date has been ruined by COVID because of my stupid little brother. Because as little as I like him, I refuse to do anything without him there. So I thought, like, you know, he should have been done by now. He should have a real job. And I say that like I have like a real job. So let's not judge one another. Jesus says to do that, so don't judge one another. But yeah, I really felt like he was going to be able to be there. So I picked October, Halloween. It's the best season of all. If you don't like that, at me. I don't care. It's my favorite. Don't skip it. Stop putting out Christmas decorations right now. Put out the Halloween decorations in July. I'm not going to get on it. But yeah, so like I was going to get married October 30th. It's going to be fantastic. In a barn. It's fall. And my brother's football season came back, and I was like, now I look like a jerk. People were like, "Ooh, did you not know that like football season's in October?" And I'm like, COVID. Well, that's all you can do.
Yeah.
So now I'm eloping. It's gonna be a surprise. So it still is one of those where there's a window. There's a window of time.
Yes.
My dad's a football coach. My brother plays college ball. Poorly, but he's there. Just as a thing. So I'm going to go with you because you've made it 11 minutes of being married. What is your marriage advice?
My marriage advice.
Oh yeah, we gotta close out on that.
Oh my. Yeah, so we've been married for a little over a year and a half now. So sorry, I don't know how good this advice is, but I definitely, think that it's so important that you have something that's yours, something that you're passionate about. It can, as much as I love football, it can be hard to just hear about football all the time.
Constant.
So I think it's so important to just, find a hobby and pursue that. I'm home alone a lot, so it's nice to have things that I can look forward to doing on my own. That's my marriage advice, I guess. Keeps me sane.
Can I propose a hobby to you?
Sure.
This is a plug. The Unusual Suspects podcast.
Yes.
Listen
I love
to us.
podcasts.
We have 6 episodes.
Okay.
So yeah, it's like if you're into that sort of thing, there's your hobby. I found
Yes.
a hobby for you. You're welcome.
I
Thank
will
you
listen to
later.
it.
Listen to the sultry sound of my voice. That's great. My mother is like dying somewhere in the corner right now. She's like, I can't believe that's my child. Don't say my name. So what is your marriage advice? We're going on what?
10 years.
30? Okay.
10.
10.
10, not 30. I'm not that old.
I know. I swear. Your skin is better than mine. You keep saying you're older than me, and I'm jealous. Do you do Botox?
No.
Oh, okay. All right. Continue with your marriage advice.
We're teachers.
Okay. Both of us. Blue Cross Blue Shield Insurance. Chef's kiss. Dental. I wish I had dental.
I would say probably just having time away. We have like Saturdays. Saturdays are a day we kind of just hang out and pretty much do nothing, but it's the day that we are all together. Like she said, I'm home a lot by myself, and it's just me and Cannon, so we just kind of hang out. But definitely having something that you can do. So right now I'm like gonna like break down a wall. So that's like my.
We're sledgehammering tomorrow on the stars.
No, but I literally have really learned to do things on my own because I just kind of have to. But you know, you can do anything that you set your mind to. But kind of just finding something like she said that you can do on your own that you enjoy. So really.
I actually feel like that was Rachel Smith's advice. She was like, buy a hammer. And you're going to do things on your own. And I was like, oh, I'm marrying a therapist. Oh, we're just going to hire someone. Maybe. I don't know. Who knows? People might not like him. Like him. You have the problems, Colin. We all have them. But guys, it's been fun. Thank you guys so much for coming.
Absolutely.
I know we've held you guys hostage for a while.
It's all right.
Are you blinking Morse code right now?
No.
Okay.
No.
I like to do inappropriate jokes at inappropriate times. It's my specialty. So, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Be sure to make it to Southside because they have a new coaching crew this year. I have big expectations.
Yeah,
Also, apparently a lisp. So there you go. You guys, this has been Average Joe Sports Talk, Friday Night Wives. This has been brought to you in part by Aligned Insurance, and they also are Auto Owners Insurance. And that's from Michael DeLozier. His picture should pop up. If it doesn't, Google it. He's the very, very good-looking bald man in the bottom corner. I don't know if it's left or right. Like I'm talking to you. I'm discombobulated right now, so who knows. But Michael A. DeLozier is who you're looking for all of your auto insurance, your home insurance. He insures boats, RVs, all kinds of, like, you got it, he insures it. So you guys check him out. Be sure to stay with us. Be sure to stay with the Panthers this year because it's going to be a fun year. Thank you guys so much for coming.
Thanks.
Thank you guys. And I'm Carl Blanchard, and we'll see you guys again next time. Bye, guys.
Bye.